Uh, that's an interesting question. Uh, to be contemplating an issue like this, you have to understand that there is nothing special about being a doctor like me. Um, my father was a doctor. My mother was a nurse. Um, we were simply brought up, my siblings and I, to care for people, and we had specific capabilities taught to us from a very young age. Um, it simply enters you, it becomes a part of you as you grow up, and um, ailments seem to call you and demand your attention. Ailments of various sorts, often perfectly preventable situations that our country has to deal with nonetheless because of insufficient national funds. And so we provide simply the care that anybody would provide in such a situation where you have such suffering on a mass scale. And no, I would never have children in a society like this. I think it's perfectly immoral to add new suffering souls into this society. But the best we can do is to help those that already exist and have to deal with life. Remember that perhaps these listeners you have listening at home, they are not representing the average, their lifestyles are not representing the average well-being of the average human on the earth. It is much more, the bigger picture much more resembles what you see here right before you. That is, fields of a reality none of you have seen anything similar to in your lives before, that are not on a film or a documentary. And these films and documentaries, although they are informative, through mediation add a layer of protection and a veil between what you perceive as real. And so there is this problem of lack of understanding among those who have the most power in the world, and their very limited ability to understand the situation of countless suffering souls in the rest of the world who make up the majority of souls living today. And there's nothing special about the current doctors that are working in these areas. If you see suffering, it is in human nature to do what you can to stop it in most cases. And that is simply all I do, and I am just fortunate enough to have had the upbringing and the knowledge of my parents and their ancestors to perform methods that work when I enter the field of lifeless, limbless, hopeless souls. and you do what you can, and you cannot help everybody, and that at the end of the day can be a very heavy burden to see also your own limitations and your lack of power, your powerlessness in the field. The few that you can save often go out and continue to live meaningless lives. And the whole procedure is rather futile. But the idea is that you do what you can, and hopefully this will contribute to mass scale change in the society, in the nation, and perhaps more healthier souls will lead to an increase in the capabilities of the nation as an entirety, and bring up our output and our economy, and perhaps give us a chance to start a positive cycle in our industries, in our well-beings, in our education, in our human rights movement. In all of these things, I suggest, I predict will happen at the same time. I believe all these issues are interconnected.